The biggest superpower in real estate is seller financing. Seller financing allows an operator to purchase real estate with little or no money down, improve that property, make it better, and either sell it or cash flow into the future. I've done this over and over and over again, and I want to share a specific story. 3 years ago, I purchased a mobile home park in one of our more populated counties, and I was working to figure out what was important to the seller. Most sellers don't have a full understanding and grasp of what seller financing is. But when you tell them, Mr. Seller, you can become the bank. You paid the bank for all these years, now you can become the bank. And if you become the bank, I'm going to pay you all that interest. And that starts becoming interesting. But you also have these situations where some of these sellers are having a hard time selling their properties. And they're getting older and tired and they want to do things. But they just want to get paid. They don't want to have to worry about taking care of the lawn. They don't want to have to worry about taking care of the property one way or another. They want to retire. They want to go out for the rest of their years that they have left on this earth, not be worried about what a tenant's going to say or do today. In this case, I talked to the agent because this was on the multiple listing service, and I said, hey, rates are high right now. You can't cash flow at this park. This was a mobile home park. I said, you cannot cash flow in this market without putting out a lot of money. And even then, the return on the money is going to be so low, it's not really going to be worth it. So you're going to have to sell it for less money. So what I negotiated, I wrote up 5 different offers, just on an Excel sheet, 1 offer, 2 offers, 3 offers, 4 offers, 5 offers. I met up with the agent and his clients. Across their dining room table, I slid the offers over and I said, okay, which one do you want? You know that your property is not selling right now for what you want, but I can give you what you want. And in seller financing, you have different variables. And so with the different variables, you can play with it. If somebody says, I want a big down payment, you can say, okay, I want a low interest rate. If somebody says, I don't care about a down payment, I care about the monthly payment, you can say, okay, what about interest only payments? There's all these different ways that you can do it. You have the same variables and different variables can offset each other. What you're focused on is how do you get in with enough time to make the property better, have a buffer to protect you, and how do you make it so that property can be more valuable? You have a pathway to make it more valuable. So X amount of years from now, you can go in, make the improvements, and then refinance, or if you have a full term with seller financing, you continue to make it happen. You continue to pay it down over time. Now, the one thing I say is, I just did this. I just refinanced one of my parks. I pulled out a large sum of money, and the bank said, your seller can go in second position if they're okay with it. Because my seller note was at 4.4% interest, I didn't really want to lose it, and it was already 5 years in the term. So, my principal pay down is happening a lot faster than the new loan. I didn't really want to lose it, and the bank was okay with it, and in this case, the seller agreed. So now I have 2 mortgage payments on this property, and the total payment is about $9,000 a month when it was just $3,000 a month, but I was able to pull out a bunch of capital, and the property more than enough pays for it. So it's important to understand that we, as people who are interested or are investing in real estate, we can take the time to make these properties more valuable. I'm not trying to buy properties that don't have a path forward. I try to buy properties that need work, that once I clean them up, will make a difference in the community. So in this case with the seller, I slid that offer over to them and I said, which one do you want? You can see their eyes light up and their smile happen because they realized that this was the solution for them. They wanted a larger down payment to be able to go and pay off some debt that they had. By paying off that debt, they increased their cash flow more than if they would charge me interest. So the alternative to a large down payment was a zero down payment on that mobile home park. Let me say that again. The offer that they took was a large down payment, but a 0% interest rate, which means every month when I pay him our $4,000 a month payment, that goes directly to principal. And by having that go directly to principal, that puts us in a spot where really quickly we are paying down the mortgage and putting ourselves in a better and better position. I think if we just took a second and looked at what we could do to help people that get in these positions where they could go and pass on these properties. If their kids don't want the properties, they can go pass it on to us and we can continue that legacy forward and build our portfolio and our empire. By doing that, we solve their problem, we give them the life that they really want to start having, and we put ourselves in a position where we're building our real estate empire. We build the empire today for tomorrow.